All right. So welcome everyone. So my name is Katie Duffy. I'm one of the admissions advisors here, and I'm joined by a number of our faculty who are department chairs and directors of our biology, chemistry, and earth and environmental science programs here at SUNY Plattsburgh. They're going to each speak a little bit about their programs, and we also welcome you to ask questions. You can use the chat feature. If you'd like to message me to ask your question, you can do that as well. So we hope that you'll come up with a lot of questions. I know our faculty are always excited to answer those and see what you come up with. So I will let our faculty go ahead and introduce themselves in the order that they'll speak, and then we'll just go ahead and get right into it.
Sure. I'm Neil Buckley, Chair of the Department of Biological Sciences.
Hi, Eva Pater, Chair of Chemistry. Good morning.
Hi, I'm Edward Monowitz. I'm the Director of the Center for Earth and Environmental Science.
Great, thank you. So my slide has moved here to our biology department. So Dr. Buckley, I will turn things over to you.
Sure, thank you, Katie. So as I said, I'm Neil Buckley, Chair of the Department of Biological Sciences. We've got a lot of different degrees. So there's plenty of choices available to you when you're trying to decide exactly what would be the right sort of educational experience for you. So I'm going to briefly run through these. We're going to go relatively briskly through our presentations because we want to give you time to ask and get questions and get them answered. So we obviously have biology degrees, both biology BA and BS, and those are excellent choices if you haven't quite decided exactly what path you want to take. They give you a really solid foundation in all areas of biology. So you get exposed to everything from cellular biology to ecosystem services, really broad degrees. Biomedical Sciences is the primary degree that most of our students who are interested in the health sciences take. It's a relatively new degree, but it's proven to be extremely popular. It's set up in such a way that you get all of the core requirements you need to go on to virtually any professional school in the health sciences, anything from physician's assistant programs through dental school to nursing, medical school, etc. It's a particularly nice degree because it has a very rich selection of interesting elective options in it. So you can take classes such as, the biology of cancer or the pharmacology of recreational drugs, things like that. So there's a lot of really neat opportunities for you to specialize in certain areas of the discipline. So it really gives you a great foundation too for going on to a professional school. Biochemistry is a degree we share with the Department of Chemistry. It's a wonderful degree. Students get a very solid foundation in both biology and chemistry. It's proven to be quite a popular degree. It's a great choice if you're interested in the health sciences too. Perhaps if you lean a little bit more towards the chemistry side than biology, it's one to seriously consider. It's a nice mix of the two. Then we have our BAMST program, and that's a 5-year program that's available in a whole variety of disciplines, not limited at all just to biology. You can do it in chemistry, do it in earth and environmental sciences, history, English, etc. So it's a great choice if you're thinking that you want to go into teaching at the high school level, because you get your master's and your bachelor's degree in a very expedited length of time. So it's only about 5 years. You get to do some of those credits as undergraduate rates. So some of your graduate credits are only charged at undergraduate rates. It's a really excellent option. And the other big plus for that program is we get you in the classroom with students when you're still an undergraduate. And so you get to find out whether, in fact, it's the program for you very early on. It's much better, I think, to discover that you really aren't particularly interested in becoming a teacher before you start into a master's program. So you can find out early on, and if it just doesn't work for you, you can easily switch into a regular degree in biology or history, or whatever it happens to be. I want to take a couple of minutes then to talk about a couple of our other specialized programs. And these are what we call 3+1 degree programs. So you spend 3 years at Plattsburgh and then a year of clinical training. And these are our medical technology and cytotechnology programs. These are fabulous options for anybody who says, look, I would like to be gainfully employed with my undergraduate degree when I finish up. And these degrees offer you the opportunity to secure an excellent job, a very good salary straight out of your undergraduate degree. So medical technologists are the people who do blood and urine analysis at a hospital. Right? So if you go to get a blood draw, it's a medical technologist is the person who will be analyzing that sample. Cytotechnologists do much the same thing, except they deal with tissue samples. So if you have a biopsy done, it's a cytotechnologist does the prepping. And these are both great choices if you're thinking you want to go to medical school too, because you could set yourself up in such a way that you do your medtech or cytotech degree, and then you take a couple of years, earn quite a lot of money before you go on to medical school. So it gives you a great deal of flexibility, right? So there are options that I really do like to recommend to people very strongly when they're thinking, when they're considering their options. A lot of people are not necessarily aware of these as choices. In addition to our majors, of course, we have a number of minors, interesting minors in neurobiology, botany, and bioinformatics. So if you're interested in psychology and biology, the neuro minor is a very interesting choice. And bioinformatics is a great option because it combines both a knowledge of biology with a knowledge of computer science. And this is a growing field because we're generating an enormous amount of data nowadays, thanks to all our sequencing of genes. Right, so the entire human genome has been sequenced. It can now be done extremely quickly. And that's led to the generating of a massive amount of data that's of great interest to biotechnology companies. So if you can combine the computer science skills and the biology skills that a bioinformatics minor gives you, that makes you a very, very desirable person when you're coming out of your undergraduate degree. So it's something very well worth considering if you have an interest in computer science and biology. All right, so that's an overview of our degrees. I don't want to spend a great deal more time, but I do want to point out a few other things about our programs, and then I'll hand you over to Dr. Pater, the chair of chemistry. One is that there's lots of internship opportunities. We regularly set students up with internships at Champlain Valley Physicians Hospital, I Care for the Adirondacks, a whole suite of other local health providers. And we put a tremendous emphasis in our department, as does the Department of Chemistry and the Center for Earth and Environmental Sciences, on research. So it's very much a part of our DNA, so to speak. It's built into everything we do. And we've got two very interesting programs we're doing in collaboration with the Howard Hughes Medical Institute. One of these is the CPhage program, and that's something you'll have the opportunity to do as a freshman. Right, first semester freshman in Bio 101, you can opt to be part of our CPhages program. And those students are doing real research, not canned labs. They're doing real research on viruses. Right, the very first week they show up at school. Right, so it's a great opportunity if you're thinking that you might like to go on to biomedical research, biotechnology research later on. It's going to give you a whole suite of really excellent molecular skills, and will train you to think critically, which is one of the major reasons, of course, that we encourage people to do research. So we've got lots and lots of opportunities. You're going to have you have a lot of opportunity to interact with faculty one-on-one, because faculty teach all of our classes and all of the labs in person. So you're going to have a great deal of opportunity to interact with faculty, get to know them well, and you should take advantage of those opportunities. You're going to hear that similar opportunities are available in chemistry and earth and environmental sciences. And I just want to encourage you to seize those opportunities, regardless of what discipline you specialize in. There are many, many opportunities available. You should try to take advantage of them. Okay, I'm going to wrap up there so that Dr. Pater has plenty of time to tell you about chemistry. It's a wonderful program, and I'll hand over to her now.
Thank you, Dr. Buckley, and I'll turn things over to chemistry.
Well, yes, hi again. This is Eva Pater, chair of chemistry. So our lineup of programs is a little simpler than in biology, but nevertheless, I think it's a very interesting program. So Dr. Buckley already touched on biochemistry program. So we have BS program in biochemistry, which is kind of on the crossroads between chemistry and biology. We have 2 degrees in a sense in chemistry. So it's Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Bachelor of Arts, I think, would be for someone who maybe is more in a rush, is someone who wants to get a job right after the college, because it requires little less credits. So it's 11 credits less for BA in comparison to BS degree in chemistry. Also, for those of you, as Dr. Buckley already mentioned, if you're interested in teaching, then BA MST program will be a choice for you. So pretty much you're getting, in terms of chemistry, you would get BA in chemistry, and then on top of that, you will get your education training. We usually try to convince students to go to BS program, to Bachelor of Science, because we think it's more versatile. And that's definitely for someone who wants to go in the future to graduate school. Bachelor of Science should be the program of choice. So we have nice facilities, relatively new, spacious labs dedicated to special classes, so special laboratories. So general chemistry has its own lab, organic chemistry has its own lab, and so on. We have faculty who is obviously well trained and well prepared to guide you through the different instrumentation we have in those labs. And as I may add, we really try to be very open to the students, so you can come anytime if you have questions. We try to keep open, so-called open door policies. So you don't really have to make an appointment. If you want to see your instructor, you just come in and you can ask the questions. As Dr. Buckley mentioned, we have lots of opportunities in research, undergraduate research. All our students are actively involved in research. They are involved in all stages of research, from planning, literature search, through presentations at conferences, national conferences, and publications in the journals. We have very active chemistry club affiliated with American Chemical Society. They're very successful in their program. They were recognized several years in a row now on the national level as extending, excellent chemistry club. As I said in the beginning, so chemistry maybe the lineup is sounds relatively simple, but it still provides you with opportunities of different pathways in terms of the job opportunities. So it could be, from education on the college level, high school level, through research and development in industry, to government positions in terms of, let's say, working on different policies. So definitely our students are very successful. Many of our students go to graduate schools. So some of them right now are at the University of Minnesota, at Syracuse University, other universities. They have jobs in industry. Actually, one of my students recently, my research students, got a job in the cosmetic industry recently after getting masters in cosmetics. So definitely there is a lot of versatility in types of jobs or types of employment you can get after with the chemistry degree, when you get the chemistry degree. So I think I will wrap up with that, and I will give the stage to Dr. Monowitz.
Thank you. And yes, we're all ready for you.
Well, thank you. Hi, I'm Ed Monowitz again. So I want to tell you a little bit about the programs we have in the Center for Earth and Environmental Science. Now, first of all, we're a center rather than a department, which is for environmental science is really appropriate, because environmental science really spans quite a few disciplines in the natural sciences and the social sciences. And we really try to give students exposure to all those different disciplines. So we have faculty in the center who are, I myself am a geologist, we have geologists, we have geographers, we have ecologists, we have environmental planners. So we have a variety of different faculty with different disciplinary expertise. So to cover everything that's really important to understand environmental science. And if you look at our programs, I think you'll be struck that we have a lot of very different degrees, and a lot of incoming students are very intimidated by the number of degrees we offer. It's nothing you should worry about. You'll be able to work with your advisor closely to, think of, to consider the degree that's best helps you get the type of job or go to graduate school or do what you want to do when you finish at Plattsburgh. So we have a lot of flexibility to find that the best degree that will suit your needs. But to give you an idea of the degrees we do offer, I always like to present them sort of along a spectrum, natural sciences on one end and the social sciences and humanities on the other. So in the natural sciences, we offer degrees in ecology, geology, environmental geoscience, and earth science. And the earth science degree also can be linked with the 5-year BA-MST program in adolescent earth science education, similar to what chemistry and biology have. Environmental studies is really at the other end. It's a program that's largely geared towards the social sciences and the humanities. students are required to take another minor or a major if in that discipline, and students might pair that up with, many are pairing it up with nutrition, food and nutrition, maybe journalism, political science. It's really an opportunity for you to kind of tailor something where you're interested in environment, but kind of want to do something out a little bit outside, maybe communicating environmental issues or working in politics, or some go into criminal justice with the environmental studies degree. In between, we have our environmental science degrees. We have a BS environmental science and a BA in environmental science. And we also have, as part of the BA in environmental science, an environmental planning and management study option, which we are working to develop as a standalone degree program. These degrees are all relatively similar in structure. You would have to take courses in cognate courses in chemistry and physics and biology and mathematics, and you would have to take courses in physical environment, biological environment, chemical environment, and some aspect of societal issues with the environment. The difference is that the environmental science BS is much stronger than the natural sciences. The environmental science BA has a lot more of the social sciences, just as with the environmental planning and management. So you can see, you can really kind of tailor, consider your interest and really find that degree that best fits your interests. And we have minors in all these degree programs. We also have minors in applied GIS, which is Geographic Information Systems. We have a minor with the economics department in environmental and economic sustainability, which is really a big issue. Our students, many of them are involved in research. In fact, we just finished this week, Thursday, a virtual poster presentation where our students presented their research that they've been doing on independent studies. And we had 86 students participating in this poster session. And under normal circumstances, we can send students all over the country, in fact, to other countries to give presentations on their research. A lot of our classes are field-based. We're really big in experiential learning, so you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to really have firsthand experience using equipment, being out in the field and working on real environmental problems. We have, many of our students are involved in internships, and we have quite a few programs where we're able to send students for internships. As far as what students do with their degree, a lot of them go on into industry, working for consulting, federal government, state agencies. One of the things we do is we offer our students the OSHA 40-hour HAZWOPER course. And this is a course that anyone going into consulting where they might be dealing with contaminated or contaminants are required to take this course to get the certification. And our students have that certification in hand. I have companies calling me, asking me to send students who have that certification to them because they want that certification. They need it to be able to hire these people. All of our geology programs are license eligible for professional geology licensing in the state, so you meet all the educational requirements that are necessary if you wish to pursue licensing, professional geology licensing. So we're very good at getting students into consulting jobs, again, state jobs, federal jobs. As far as graduate programs, we prepare students well for graduate schools. They go to Duke University, Syracuse University, University of Vermont, Cornell University, University of New Hampshire, Cal State San Jose, Colorado School of Mines. We have a very good record of getting students into graduate programs, and our students go into those graduate programs with a lot of experience, and in many cases, they're way ahead of the other students in those graduate programs because they've had all this experience. And I think I will leave it at that so we have some time to answer some questions. So thank you.
Thank you. And so just as a reminder, so we've got almost 15 minutes left for questions. So this is really your opportunity to pose those questions to our faculty, and they're excited to see what you have. I do have a couple questions that are coming in as messages, so I do want to make sure I read those in the order that they're coming in. And as a reminder, you can use the chat feature. You can send a message in the chat. You can message me. I'm going to go ahead and read the first one. So there's a student who looks like right now they've applied as undecided. They're interested in biomedical sciences, and their question is if they select a major, say they end up going into biomedical sciences, but have now decided to swap with another major, is that a possibility?
Sure. You want me to take that, Kitty?
Yes, please.
Sure. Yeah, it's very easy. With very, very few exceptions at Plattsburgh, it's extremely easy to switch from one major to another. The one major that's difficult to switch internally is into nursing, because there's very limited seat availability there. But pretty much every other degree, it's very easy to switch from one to another. So certainly within biology degrees, very simple. You come in, you're doing biomedical, you decide you want to do a regular biology degree or a med tech degree. It's literally a 5-minute process. Similarly, if you want to switch and become a chemist, again, 5 minutes. Extremely easy to do. If you want to switch into earth and environmental sciences, where you decide you want to perhaps double major, maybe you want to be a biologist and an ecologist, again, an extremely easy process. You simply talk to the chair, say, I'd like to switch. Can you help me with that? It's a matter just of really writing an email and it gets taken care of. So really, really easy to do. And we're very happy to help you and, talk about options and try and find the right pathway for you. Because as chair of biology, my main interest is in seeing you get the education you want, right? Whether that's as a biologist or as a historian or an English professor or an English major or an environmental scientist or chemist. If you're happy, I'm going to be happy. And so we do a lot to make sure that you are on the right track so that you're doing something, you're on a pathway that will take you to where you'd like to go. And we make it as easy as we possibly can.
Thank you. This next question, I think for Dr. Monowitz, as a freshman, will I have the opportunity to take a geology course, or is it just core courses?
As a freshman, you certainly would be able to take a geology course. In fact, most of the certainly the incoming geology majors would be taking intro geology courses, and it's also required in the environmental science disciplines. So they'd be taking geology the first semester, and it's usually the first semester or certainly during their first year. A lot of the cognate courses that you have to take, we try to spread them out a little bit because we do want you to have an opportunity to get involved in the program and meet the faculty early on. So we do kind of spread out those other courses so you have plenty of opportunities to get involved in our courses early on.
Thank you. Next question. This is probably for Dr. Buckley. What do you offer for pre-med tracks, and how do you support students in those tracks?
Well, in terms of pre-med tracks, I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions about going to medical school. One is that you have to do a particular degree. Right? You don't. You can do your degree in anything you like. And so what we give you is the core classes you need to do that. And so you can go to medical school with a degree in anything. So let's say you wanted to study English. You can certainly go to medical school with an English degree, but you have to do the core courses that medical schools require. And those are 2 semesters of intro bio, 2 semesters of intro chemistry, 2 semesters of organic chemistry, 2 semesters of physics, and usually a semester of psychology or sociology. With those, you can go on to anything you like. Now, we, of course, realize that many people interested in the health sciences, interested in medicine, are interested in biology. And so that's why we designed our biomedical sciences degree specifically for people with those interests. So that degree, and in fact, all of the biology degrees, give you those core courses I already mentioned. They're already built in, so you automatically take those. But in addition, we give you a lot of exposure to other areas that are going to be really helpful to you when you go on to your professional training. So you'll have had, for example, a class in histology, a class in anatomy and physiology. You might have had a class in the biology of cancer, a class in cell biology, classes in genetics. These are all of great use to you when you actually go to med school or physician's assistant school or physical therapy school or whatever area of the health sciences you choose to go into. So we've set up our degrees so that you get a very solid core of all of the material you need to have, plus the opportunity to take a bunch of electives that are really relevant to that. Now, in terms of support, we put a big emphasis on advising. And so we have a dedicated pre-health advisor, that's Dr. Don Slish, does an extremely good job helping all of our students to apply to med school or to whatever health professional program they'd like to apply to. And each person has their own faculty advisor. And of course, you also have access to the chair pretty much anytime you like. My door is literally propped open with a jar of sea anemones. So you come and see me anytime you like, right? We're not very big on formality around here. So if you want to come and see me or see your advisor, you can go see them anytime. So we put a big emphasis on making sure that people are getting the advice and help that they need in order to get to where it is that they would like to go. We really pride ourselves on that.
Thank you. And I think Dr. Monowitz answered this question in the chat, but maybe we want to just go over it briefly. The question was, when does a new student meet with their advisor to help with class registration? I'll just read the answer so that people can hear that. You will be assigned an advisor at the beginning of the fall semester. You're free to meet with your advisor as soon as you wish. In October, it will be necessary to meet with your advisor to discuss courses for the spring semester. So thank you for that question.
But Katie, as well, of course, before that, for incoming students, we have all of our summer advisement with incoming students. So you'll have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with your faculty, your chair. I mean, I meet with all of our students during the summer, and we have a one-on-one conversation about what it is you'd like to do, get you all set up for that, make sure you're enrolled in all the classes that you'd like to do. So you're going to have a pretty high touch experience in terms of access to faculty right even before you come to Plattsburgh. So you will meet with me or one of the other faculty in the department to discuss your plans even before you come here. We'll help you get you pre-registered for your classes so you're all set to hit the ground running as soon as you arrive on campus.
Thank you. Question, what class would be a good for me for a minor since I want to be a game warden, since I'm also getting a major in criminal justice?
We actually follow a lot of the requirements for the DEC positions, and they vary quite a bit depending exactly on what the position is. But generally, it's about you're required to have a 4-year degree, and you're required to have about 30 credits of environmental science courses. But we work with a lot of students who are preparing for jobs in the DEC. And we are well aware of the type of qualifications that they need to meet in the courses they need to take in order to meet the qualifications for the jobs. But yes, we do have quite a few students that will actually major in environmental science or ecology with a minor in criminal justice, or even a double major combination in criminal justice if they're interested in working for the DEC. But it's something you would discuss pretty early on with your advisor to let your advisor know that these are your plans, and your advisor would work with you to make certain that you're taking the appropriate courses to meet the requirements for those positions.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of cool organismal courses. You can take, ecology, do conservation biology. There's your regular ecology classes, of course. There's a whole bunch of organismal ones, opportunity to work with plants and fish and birds. So there's vertebrate zoology, invertebrate zoology. There's a whole bunch of options available to you. You've got a very rich selection available.
Thank you. And I think they're going to give us a few more minutes here to get these questions answered, which is great. So one question, how do we figure out which college level or AP courses from high school fulfill credit towards our major? I think I can probably answer that since I do a lot of that for incoming students. Basically, you would submit a copy of either your official AP scores or official transcripts from any colleges that you might have taken credit through. We put that into what's called a degree work, so you can start to see how those courses fit towards your particular major, and you get that notification. We like to try to have that prepared as long as we have your documents prior to orientation, so it makes the registration session a little bit easier.
Well, can I weigh in that just a little,
absolutely.
Katie? Because this is something that comes up quite often. I have students come to me and say, oh, I took AP biology. Should I skip my freshman biology classes? And I have a conversation with people, and one thing you'll discover very quickly when you speak to me is I treat you as an adult, so I will ultimately leave the decision up to you. But my advice for most people, by all means, you take a bunch of AP classes, transfer them in, right? You will at least get credit for them, and sometimes they will satisfy particular requirements of degrees. But if you're going to be a biologist, I would strongly suggest that you're better off taking your introductory biology classes at Plattsburgh, right, or whatever university you choose to ultimately go to. And the reason for that is it's a foundation for everything that comes later. Because my concern would be if there was two. One is that you will not have had the lab experience, right, at a high school that you're going to get in college. You're just not. Whatever people try to tell you, it's not the same thing. It's a step up in class, so to speak, right? So it's really important you have those skills going on to more advanced classes in biology. So nobody is saying that you shouldn't transfer in APs, but I would say you need to think about whether it's in fact in your best interest to skip some of your freshman classes, because the alternative is that you go into perhaps an advanced class that you're a little rusty on and you don't really have the lab skills. So that's something you need to have a conversation with your advisor about, or the chair of the department. In many cases, APs transfer in absolutely fine, so it makes no odds to me if you want to transfer in your AP history or your AP English or something, because that's not a foundational requirement for stuff that's coming later on, right? My perspective on it is that the worst you'll do is do really, really well in your freshman classes and set yourself up for later success. So why wouldn't you want to do that? So that's my take on it. But I will always allow students to make their own decision, right? So I will make my suggestions, and then you're free to make the decision you think is best for you. So.
Thank you. And I did get confirmation that they'll leave our rooms open for another 10 minutes for questions, which is good because I see a lot coming in. Question, can we have a minor when studying biology in a pre-med concentration?
In fact, there's a built-in chemistry minor in the biomedical sciences degree. All of the courses you need for a chemistry minor are already required in the degree. So it's essentially embedded in it. So all you have to do is declare it and do well in the classes. So we've already built that in. You can certainly add in a minor, a second minor quite easily. So for example, if you want to do neurobiology, that would be quite an easy minor to add on top of a biomedical sciences in addition to the chemistry minor you already have. You can do minors in other disciplines as well. I mean, students quite often will do a minor in nutrition because they're interested in that particular way. Some people do a business minor because they're figuring they're going to go into a field where they may be working as an independent contractor, they may be a physical therapist or something, or they're going to set up their own business. And so having a bit of business background is also very helpful. It's quite easy to do minors. It's just a matter of coordinating your schedule with the help of your advisor to make sure that you're taking everything that you need at the appropriate time. So we really encourage people taking minors. I think it fleshes out your background quite effectively.
Thank you. And here's a question regarding fieldwork for earth sciences. Are there a lot of opportunities to participate, or are they limited in some way?
As far as fieldwork, most of our classes have a lab component that is largely field-based. One thing I forgot to mention too, we have the Applied Environmental Science program, where a series of classes that are taught in an all-day format, and these classes are very heavily dependent on fieldwork. So yes, virtually all of our upper division courses are very strong, have labs associated with them where there's a lot of field work, and that includes geology, that's in ecology, and the environmental science classes. So yes, any student going through our program will have had a lot of experience in the field doing work, and our field area includes the Adirondacks all the way into central New York, Vermont, and we have some classes that even go as far as Maine, doing field trips, weekend field trips. So you will get a lot of experience.
Thank you. Can see another question here. Might need to confer with another office on this at some point, but do we consider CXC CAPE as an AP class? CAPE is equivalent to England A-level exams. That's a really interesting question.
Well, an English A-level is typically a first-year college class. I mean, they have O-levels and A-levels in the British system. A-level classes would be pretty advanced. So it'd be a matter, I would expect, of looking at what's covered. But I'm confident that it's a pretty high level of class that's taken, pre-college. My understanding is it's pretty much the equivalent of a first-year college class, for what that's worth. So
yeah, normally I would say if you have like the official scores or results from those exams and you submit those to the admissions office, generally for international credentials, we would have our global education office take a look at that, and they provide their advice and recommendations. So it's quite possible I would have them submitted. And then once something's worked out, that would be factored into your degree works, like a college course or an AP course over here. Question. So these were great. A lot of really interesting questions. We do have a couple more minutes, so if students want to add any more questions into the chat, we've got a little bit of extra time. I know we kind of touched upon the subject of advisors, and one thing that I did want to kind of emphasize is that at Plattsburgh, students are assigned an advisor from specifically within their department. And does someone maybe want to touch upon a little bit kind of what that benefit is to having your primary advisor is someone right within your department, as opposed to kind of a general academic advising office, which serves their own purpose, but I think that relationship and dynamic that we have here at Plattsburgh is really valuable.
Did Avery want to ever go with this?
Go ahead.
Okay, well, so I think it's important for the students, because obviously the faculty in the department knows the program in and out. They know when the courses are offered. They know when it's the best time to take those courses. So it's very, very valuable thing to have academic advisor as a faculty in the specific department will be that advisor.
Yeah, we really put a big emphasis at Plattsburgh on the what we might call a high touch relationship between advisors and students. So we require that students come see their faculty. It's kind of, it's a carrot system. So we require our students to come see the faculty member in order to get their PIN to register. And we've just gone through that registration period in the last couple of weeks. It's always a fun time. I love chatting with my students, finding out what's been going on, all the things they've been getting up to, good and bad. It's always interesting. But we are available to our students all the time. I mean, if you want to talk to me as chair of the department or as your advisor, you can come see me anytime you like. And that's true of our faculty members. We are genuinely interested in our students and seeing that they succeed. And it is tremendously beneficial to have an advisor who knows the field and related fields well. So I can advise students who might be thinking about, maybe the student wants to switch into the ecology degree or wants to switch into the chemistry major. I can give them a pretty good sense of what will be required to do that, and also then who they can talk to in those disciplines in order to get the right advice. So your advisor is going to be able to answer pretty much any question related to your own discipline. Will have a good idea of what's required in related disciplines, and can at worst direct you to the right person that you can have a more extended conversation with, right? So I could send you to the chair of the appropriate department or a particular faculty member if you want to explore something you're interested in a different discipline.
Thank you. Looks like we might have a last question here. This is kind of general, but the question is, how are classes going to be during the fall 2021 semester? I'm assuming that's in regards to kind of the format, whether in person or online. Someone maybe is able to speak to that a little bit?
Well, I can a little bit, and I'm sure can chip in too. I mean, we're going as much face-to-face as we possibly can. We've tried throughout this whole pandemic to retain face-to-face labs and lectures. We've reduced size of classes in some cases, but in the fall, with the vaccines available now and relaxations perhaps in some of the social distancing we've had to endure, we're going to be putting virtually every class we can, no longer virtually. We're going to be having them face to face. Okay, that is our goal. It appears to be the college's goal. It's certainly the goal of the Department of Biological Sciences. And so you should be getting pretty close to the traditional face-to-face experience coming into this fall.
Thank you. I'm considering possibly participating in the 5-year geology education program, or possibly a minor in a related field. By when must I commit to one of these programs?
We have students coming in right away to majoring in earth science, which is the companion program for the BAMST, and it's basically you're able to apply to that the master's or the education component of that program as early as you want. And actually, the way things are now, we try to get students involved in the education component as soon as possible so that they can start taking some of those education courses. So Yeah, I have incoming students coming in who are already, signed up for that program and are in that degree option as freshmen.
Thank you. Is there a 4+4 program or similar for BSMD in biology?
There are some relationships we have with schools like SUNY Upstate. So typically, if you want, there are guaranteed admission programs. You apply through SUNY Upstate, and then when you come to us, there are requirements that you have to get, to maintain a certain GPA and graduate in order to then move on to your MD program. But yeah, we're a participant in a number of those programs. Certainly the one with SUNY Upstate. There's information on the departmental website on the pre-health advisory page. You can have a look there. But generally, those are done. They're a collaborative relation to the sort of a guaranteed admission program. So you're accepted into that program, and then as long as you maintain the required level of academic performance in your undergraduate degree, then you simply transition straight into the MD program when you're finished.
Thank you. These have been some really great questions. So thanks so much. I think the rooms are probably going to be closing in a couple minutes, but I did want to just throw out there that if you would like to follow up with anything, if you want to get in contact with the admissions department, get in contact with our faculty, we're always happy to put you in touch. You can always contact us at, I'll actually type the email in here. So admissions@plattsburgh.edu. I'm always happy to get you in contact with anybody here and answer your questions. I believe there will be a few more sessions starting around 12:15 if you want to check out some virtual tours and sessions like Students Life. But right now, looks like our session is going to come to a close in just about a minute or so. But thank you so much, everyone, for your participation today and for attending. These have been some really great questions. So hopefully you got a lot out of our session today.
And Katie, one other thing, if people want to contact us individually, they're more than welcome to do that. Our emails are all over the various web pages.
Yep.
It's not hard to track down me, right, or Ava or Ed. So just you can look us up very easily.
Yes,
and we'll be delighted to answer questions. So don't be shy about it.
And if you'd like a chance to talk to a student, let us know. We can put a student in touch with you if you want to get the student's perspective.
Oh, our timer has popped up, so we will be closing out in just under 2 minutes. So I don't know if there were any last pieces of advice or words of wisdom that you wanted to provide before we close out here.
Words of wisdom.
Feel free.
Well, my thing I say most of the time is that when you're going to college, you're going to have opportunities. You should take advantage of them. There are many, many opportunities, but you have to seek them out. Don't sit in your dorm room waiting for the world to come and knock on your door. Go seek out opportunities. There are absolutely tons of them. There are many, many people very willing to help you, right? Who are very interested in seeing you succeed. Take advantage of those opportunities. I always talk about squeezing all the juice out of the orange. Okay, if you've got an orange, squeeze all that juice out of it. That's my advice for thinking about your college education. Something you want to get everything you possibly can out of it. So seek it out, ask for help, ask for advice, look for opportunities.
Thank you. Well, we're just down to under a minute. So I think at this point, students, you're able to leave the breakout room if you'd like to do so. Check out some of the other sessions that'll be on the main page. But it's been really great talking to everyone. And now someone messaged me and said, now I want orange juice. Well said.
Actually, squeeze that orange
It
really
is
well.
memorable.
You'll be all set.
It is memorable. I definitely remember. Famous quote.
I don't know how famous it is, but
It is now. It is now. All right.
Make t-shirts.
Under 10 seconds. So goodbye, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your open house if you're sticking around.